Good morning to everyone. I hope you all are happy being here. As Dr. Batra said, that you should start with gratitude. So my sincere gratitude to the entire BW team, all my clients, all people present here. I know a weekday morning time coming to this place can be tough, but you all have made it on time, and we are here to celebrate happiness as a concept. I personally am pretty happy, and the reason is twofold. The first reason is that I'm witnessing a movement which is going to start from now, and not only witnessing the movement, but I'm also part of this entire initiative as somebody who is seeing this seeded in the minds of all the business leaders across the country. And I can tell you why this is important. So I have been a consultant for the last 20 years at specializing in workplace engagement, culture, and stuff like this. Everywhere when we go and ask this question to employees, are you happy? And I think the data for last so many years have not changed. The proxy of it is, are you engaged? You will be surprised to know that in last 23 years, the number of people who are engaged, excited, and want to come to work hasn't improved. It's constant at around 12 to 13% people, and rest of the 88% people coming to work, they don't want to come, or they are dragging themselves. So it's not something which is very exciting, and I, from the sidelines, was watching this, and in the pandemic, in the midst of the pandemic, I decided this is enough. We need to bring happiness at workplaces, because most of your life, majority of your time, you spend at workplace, and if you're not happy, then it's a life which is wasted from my perspective. This entire initiative started from a perspective that a lot of data is there out there which tells us survey after survey that we are living in a world which is not happy. And there are several data points around how happiness is something which is coming down. One of the data points from World Poll tells us that number of positive experiences has gone down dramatically, and last year was the year where we did not experience much of positive emotion on a day-to-day basis. In fact, not only this, but when it comes to unhappiness, probably 2021 was the year where we were the most unhappy people. Okay, there are so many circumstances which has changed around us, but the fact remains that we are living in a world which is not very happy. And I can tell you, this is my previous organization where I used to work around engagement and happiness. And whenever we used to go to companies and talk about, aren't you really serious about making your people happy? And the type of comments which we used to get from, not only from HR leaders, but also from business leaders, do we really want to make our people happy? Because happy people may mean that you're looking for fun, frolic, and you might not be excited to do your work, right? So the perception was that people who are happy aren't working as much as they should. In fact, there were a lot of managers who used to tell me the ways in which I can create more stress, because the perception was, if you stress your people, they will give you more output. And I think COVID has taught us that that's not true, and people have started looking out their life beyond work. The great resignation and the silent quitting is part of the entire phenomena, which tells us that if we are not taking care of our people, if we are not making them happy, there are consequences. You may squeeze somebody and feel that person don't have much options, but after a point of time, you will realize that if people are not happy, they will be moving out. So that's something which caught my attention, and then we said a significant part of our life we are spending at workplace. With one estimate, it is like 90,000 hours of our life we are at our workplace. And just imagine, if you are not happy with what you are doing, and I think I also asked this question from a lot of people whom I meet, if there is no constraint in your life, would you continue doing what you are doing today? If the answer is no, that means you should realize that you are compromising somewhere, right? So if you have spent 90,000 hours at a place where you didn't want it to be and you didn't enjoy what you are doing, then my simple question to you is that if you are not very happy, then why exactly we are even working around it? And one of the studies which we undertook when we got started in 2020 to measure how much stress people have right now. And one thing which we were very astonished to find that there are more than 50% people in the workplace who get stressed very often. And most importantly, 39% of those people needed immediate attention. Unfortunately, they did not know where to go. Organizations have got their EAP systems and their different processes, but nobody knew that how do you get help if you are feeling very stressed and depressed. Now, I will tell you that there is a journey which you take from being -1 to 0, that if you are unhappy, stressed, and if you are depressed, then there are consultants and psychologists and psychiatrists which can take you to become 0, and 0 for me is being normal. But there wasn't much focus on how do we carry somebody from 0 to 1, right? So 0 to 1 is where positive psychology comes in. We had assumed that if you are a normal person, you will be happy. But that's not the case. The way you have to take effort to come from -1 to 0, similarly, a very concentrated effort which is required from your side to feel happier. In fact, research and data tells us that while we seek happiness, we never prioritize this in our life. And then when we realize that happiness is important, we find ourselves in a situation where much water has flown. So I think that's the concern, and that's where we said we need to change it. And my point of view was, if you aren't happy doing what we are doing, then why exactly we are doing it? Okay, there should be a change, and there should be a new movement. And that's where we said we will come to existence. HappyPlus came to existence and said, we'll try to change this. We'll try to tell people that being happy is not very tough if we are bringing this to our priority area, and if there are tools and techniques which can help people build positive habits. We are what habits we build. If we have got positive habits being built, we will be there in terms of trying to add to the happiness quotient of people. And I think this can be done from 4 perspective from our side. We firmly believe that number of people is not number. What happens is our brain tells us, generally you will see that HR heads telling you that I have got 1,500 people or 1,700 people. When you count people like this, then actually you are not getting into the, you are not touching the souls of people. Because every individual in your company is somebody's son, somebody's daughter, somebody's beloved one, right? So we need to understand that everyone walking in your company needs to find a place where they can express themselves, they can be happy, and they can enjoy what they are doing. So that's something which is very important. I have always seen that there has been a concept that employers will do everything, and employees will sit back and say, have this hopelessness that what can I do to be happy? But our perspective is that while organizations can do something, as an employee, you also need to do a lot of things to build that mindset, to practice some of the points which Dr. Batra was talking about, and do your bit in terms of being happier at your workplace. Third is, HappyPlus is a firm believer that unless and until you decide to be happy, nobody can make you happy. So individual accountability becomes a key. And through our products, processes, and awards like this, we are encouraging people that don't let your happiness be in somebody else's hand. Let it be with you, and try to do things which brings your best self on a day-to-day basis. And the last thing is happiness and positivity can be cultivated. What we need to do, the way you build your mental muscle, your physical muscle, similarly, you need to start building your happiness muscle. And small exercises like your gratitude, practicing empathy, practicing kindness, practicing forgiveness. There are a lot of things, and science is telling us this. If those people who experience these on a day-to-day basis, who practice this continuously, are the people who not only are happier, but also make the environment in which they work pretty happy. So I think these are the 4 points which we thought will be important, and the happiest workplace is a step in this direction. I'm glad there are so many companies who believed in the vision which we had. We wanted to bring this seed of a hope in the minds of people, that we don't only talk about productivity, profitability, business outcomes. These will be there for sure. But what is important, that if we are doing this with a mindset where people are excited about doing this and they want to make a difference along with the organization which they are working with. So for happiest workplaces, there are 4 things which we want to bring. We want happiness to be a priority for organizations. We want companies to understand that happier people actually bring the best out of their people. And while companies can seek engagement, happiness is what is being sought by individuals, and there needs to be a marriage between these two. So that's the first point. Creating is, we wanted to create a platform where all the best companies come together, tell us what exactly they are doing, we learn from them, and that's what the entire day session will talk about, that what is best practices going on as far as happy workplaces is concerned. And then we are trying to create an ecosystem where we measure well-being along with profitability and growth. And the last thing is that if we have got companies who have become happiest workplace, can they go and teach others that how exactly they do it and what's the impact it has made on their business? And if we are able to do that, then truly and surely we'll make a world where everybody is happy. Thank you very much for your patience.